Architectural Builder's Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Z953 cam lift Mortise type hinge, and I have a slab. It's a slab I bought secondhand. It has no hinges in it, but it is for an acoustical door with a high STC rating. And I'm building a recording studio, and now that I've bought the slab, for a couple $100, I've got to find these hinges. And I was just trying to save some money, and wanted to call and see if I could send you a photo, because I don't know if these hinges are going to fit on this door, but I've got measurements that I've taken, and just wanted to get a second opinion on something before I bought these to see if this is the right product.
Yeah, is $120 a hinge something that you were considering to spend on a door that only costs $200?
Well, I guess, sorry, I'm misleading you here. The door is a real STC door that was probably originally $2,000 or something, but in the process of it being sold and bought, I live in Nashville, so there's a lot of acoustical products and studios that change ownership and things like that. And I'm a recording engineer, and so I bought this off of a buddy, but he had already sold the hinges, and so now it's up to me to find them. And so I'm sure that the door is worth spending more on the hinges than I paid for the slab, just because the door is probably valued a lot higher than what I paid for it, and it's heavy as hell. I mean, it definitely is the real deal, but I just don't want to buy the hinges and have them not fit, obviously. So I just wanted to get a second opinion and see if I would be able to, just talk with you about this, seeing as you guys carry the product I think I need, but I just, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, you're welcome to send me photographs. The question I would have for you is, why is there a measurable value in spending an order of magnitude more for the hinges?
Well, the first thing is,
are you going to get your monies out of this?
Well, I appreciate your skepticism and definitely welcome at that. I'm happy to have that conversation. The door is needing to be the same. So there's an acoustics designer that I'm working with right now, okay, and the mass of the door needs to match the mass of the wall, in short. And the wall is a double stud 2-leaf system that's got a 1.5-inch air gap in it that is going to be pretty soundproof. And so having a door that matches this as close as I can get. I mean, the other option is to go to, just Central Woodwork or some regular standard door company that does interior doors and just buy a birch solid core slab door, which then I'd have to add mass to that. And at least with this, because of the Mortise door, I wouldn't have to add an acoustical doorstop on the bottom. When it's fully closed, all the seals and the gasketing would be as airtight as I could make it, in a do-it-yourself situation. So because of that, I have every reason to think that spending the money on this would work. Also, if I were to order just a pre-hung door right now, that is a 1 3/4 inch birch slab solid core, the cost of that would be about $500. And that would be my total investment if I were to get, these hinges. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing these hinges are, this one's $120 a hinge. So I would be spending around the same amount of money. The only thing I'd be doing is having to build my own door frame, which I'm comfortable doing. I've got some basic carpentry skills, and I haven't built the wall yet, so I can make the rough opening as big as I need, and I have the slab on site. My biggest concern is, will these hinges fit, and will they be plug and play? Because the door is made out of steel, and the hinge sizing is already pre-cut into the slab, and so that's where the measurements come in. All I know to do is to take a tape measure and measure the width of the slab and the width of the slot for the hinge. And I'm a little new at this, so forgive my ignorance on some of this if this doesn't make sense. But do you follow me so far?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is you want a door, since you have a door, that will be STC in its performance, and you want the cam lift hinge because the original assembly was most likely tested and certified with the cam lift hinge and no other hinge. So in that regard, I would say if you want to get the punch out of the system, out of the assembly, then yeah, you've got to go with how it was tested, and that could very likely be a cam lift hinge. Absolutely.
I believe that it was because when I bought this door, there were 2 doors for sale. One had sold by the time I found out about it, and that one still had half of this hinge assembly in it, and it was a cam system because I had a photo of that. And the fellow that sold me the slab said, I think it was most likely this hinge, and he sent me a listing for it said Legacy hinges on it, and I can't remember exactly the model number, but I believe that the hinge assembly that he pointed me to was for a 500-pound door. Now, I don't know how much this door weighs. I don't have it on a scale, but another question I had was the hinges that I am asking about, the model number that I have, are 300-pound hinges, I believe. So does that, if the door weighs 300 pounds, which it very well feels like it does, every bit of it, then will 3 of these hinges be sufficient to support the weight of the slab?
Well, that hinge, as you said, does have the weight rating of 300 pounds. That door was built and prepped for a hinge that is going to be capable of carrying the weight of the weight and the width of the door, along with the height. So whatever your door is prepped for, since it's steel, you'll be obligated to providing a hinge that will dimensionally fit, and it will be assumed when we look at the rating for weight that it is compliant with the actual weight of your door. Can you lift it by yourself?
No, it takes 3 people to move.
Okay, so if it's, and I happen to have lifted a lot of doors in my life, which is why I asked that, because it gives me an idea. I'm good up to about 225, or I used to be, I should say. You do 300, and 2 people can do that. You get heavier than that, then there ain't no way 2 people are going to do that. So I would love to see your photographs, and it could be Zero. You mentioned a name, Legacy. They also sell cam lift hinges that we distribute for. May I give you my email address?
Yes, I would love that. That'd be great.
Cool. My email is the word sales, SALES.
Okay.
Now it's the same as the website, absupply.net.
Okay.
And that comes straight to me, and my name is Richard.
Okay, Richard. Let me go ahead and send you this right now. Do you mind if I keep you on the phone?
I don't mind.
Okay. All right. 1 second for me. Let me go ahead and shoot you these photos over. Yeah, and the door measures 36 by 80. It's 36 and a quarter by 80 and a quarter.
Okay.
And it is a 1 3/4 inch in thickness. So it's I'm sure you've seen some of these sound recording doors that weigh 700-800 pounds that are very thick. This looks like a normal door. It's just whatever is inside it. It's got a lot of mass, So if that's of any help, but I'm sending you these photos right now. Let me go ahead and select these here. Send you a few different ones. Let's see that one. This. Let's see. I've got just 1 or 2 more I need to add. And the measurements are going to be for the width of the slab and then just the width of the hinges. And let me include one that has the length as well. Let's see. This one has the link. Okay. All right. Please wait until attachment finishes uploading. Okay, so give me just a second here. All right. It should have just sent your way. Let me know if you get that.
Yeah, I will. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to land here, what are you doing about gasketing?
So, do you guys sell gasketing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, as far as the gasketing goes, I have a question about the process in which the gasketing is installed. Can the gasketing be installed after the door is on the hinges and it's hung properly?
I would say that's the time that you do indeed install the gasketing and not before.
Okay. The reason I'm asking that is just because there's a lot of moving parts to this. The first thing I'm doing, because I gotta eat this elephant one bite at a time, is I don't have a plan for the gasketing yet. I've looked at a lot of different things. I'm using a book. It's called Build It Like the Pros by this guy named Roger Vase, who's a studio designer, and then I'm consulting with a guy who lives in Nashville who does studio design professionally. And I know they'll have some recommendations, but I haven't specifically talked with them about that yet. Their main concern was get the door, get the hinges, get everything installed right, and then we'll go from there. So that's unfortunately the best answer I can give you at the moment.
Well, I that might make it more work than it is needed to be, because all I would suggest is that you determine what STC rating you want to achieve, and then select from a manufacturer's catalog, like Zero or others, that has an entire assembly. They're going to have part numbers for that gasketing that's been tested and certified. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, talk to people who do it, but if you're going to spend the money so that you actually have something that you can expect will be compliant with a specific STC level, then you're just going to pick those products that have been found to be, that have achieved that STC attenuation.
How do okay, I know this. I do know this. I know in general a solid core door, like that birch slab I was talking about, that would be, an alternative option to this, has an STC rating of about 40. I know that a door that's well made has an STC for soundproofing, has an STC rating about 50 to 60. I don't know exactly what this door is because I don't know exactly the manufacturer of this. The tag or the badge has been painted over on this door, and so I'm flying a little in the dark on that. What would be your recommendation based on the products you carry on your website for picking the right gasketing? Should I just go for something around 50 to 60 and look at what the options are? Does that make sense?
It does. It's quite unfortunate you don't know the rating of the door because you could be spending not enough or way too much money. My suggestion, based on my experience of selling these, is that you shoot for about STC 50, because I've supplied STC doors recently in an office environment where they had a mechanical contraption running in a closet, and we were hitting STC 50 or STC 52. Once you get north of that, the cost becomes, elliptical on the graph, the X and Y graph. It really starts to moon at that point, to use a crypto term. So I might stick in the very low 50s for your threshold.
Okay. I will do that. And I'm certainly open now that you've got my email address. If you have a link to a product that you would recommend to taking a look at that. Now, were those photos able to come through at all?
No, I've not seen them yet.
Okay. Let me double check on that and see if it's showing that it's sent on my end. Showing it has, so let me go ahead and double check this email address. I've got sales, SALES, at AB, A as an apple, B as a boy, supply, at AB Supply, what'd you say, .net?
.net, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just give it another second here and see if it goes through. It could be that it's just taken a second. Yeah, that is the right. It's showing that it's sent. So okay, well, hopefully it's going to make it over to your way here soon. While we're waiting on that, I do have another question. If the store weighs 500 pounds and I buy 300-pound hinges, is that going to work?
No,
because
not cumulative.
So each hinge does not support 300 pounds on its own. Is what I would infer from that. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I would need to buy 3 500-pound hinges then.
Well, actually, I wouldn't say that. I would say you're going to have to buy what the door is prepped for, and you're going to be stuck with that. You can't make any changes in the height or the thickness of the leaf. Now, I do have your images. They just came, and I'm looking at them. So I see that you're dealing with a 5-inch tall hinge. Great. Here's the thing that we must know, and if we don't know, then we can't make a hinge. We can't sell you a hinge. We have to know how deep the pocket is in that hinge plate.
Oh, I didn't measure that. Okay, that is good to know.
That we must know, because there will be different leaf thicknesses, which is directly related to how heavy of a door you can swing on that hinge.
Okay, let me get that to you. I can. Are you guys open tomorrow? Can I call you back tomorrow? That's going to be, unfortunately, the soonest I could get you that information.
I'll be here till I'm 90. Take your time.
Okay. So what I will do is I will call you guys back tomorrow, and we will determine, I guess at that point, what hinge will work. And I understand what I'm hearing you say is there will only be one hinge that will fit in there, and depending on the thickness of that or the depth of the slot is what hinge I will have to buy.
Yes, and that's because when these guys made that door, they did the engineering, so they know that you needed a 5-inch tall hinge at X thickness, and you just have to measure with a caliper would be the right way to do it for the thickness of the leaf, because there are different leaf thicknesses.
Oh, so I can't necessarily measure it with a tape measure?
Well, can you see the difference between 0.19 inch and 0.25 inch? If you can,
probably
you're okay.
Not.
Well,
yeah.
You can probably tell the difference between 3/16 and a 1/4 inch. But like I said, the proper way to do it is with a caliper.
Now, with the let me just ask you while we're talking about this right now, just so I know if I need to get one of those things, because I don't have one and I need to find one, I guess, soon to make the accurate measurement. But is the difference between the 300-pound and the 500-pound hinge? Because my gut's telling me it's going to be one of those two sizes. Is the difference between that, if you're looking at the diagrams or like the CAD drawing or whatever, the resources that they provide when you're shopping online for these, is the difference a 1/16 of an inch, or is it a lot less? In other words, could I do it with a tape measure if it's between those two hinges? Yeah,
the answer is you could. It's a 1/16 of an inch basically. So you're going to end up seeing about 1/8 of an inch, or something that's about 3/16, or something that's about 1/4, or it's about 5/16. So if you can choose between 1/8 and 5/16 comfortably on a tape measure, then you're okay. But it's a caliper would be the best way to do it, but use what tools you have available to you so that you're comfortable with what size you're ordering.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just go ahead and pull up what this is, a caliper. Let's see. Can you spell that for me? I'm sorry. Pardon my ignorance here.
Okay. CALIPER.
Okay, got it. Oh, you know what? I think I could borrow one of these. Being in the music world, people use those to measure the thickness of guitar strings. So I may know a guitar tech. Okay.
Absolutely, they do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
And I'll want it
All
in the same size as guitar strings as well, 60 thousandths or whatever.
Yeah. Let me see if I can use one of those, and I will go ahead and get the measurement and call you back tomorrow. Richard or Rich, is that what you said? Your name was?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to help me, and I'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you. Thanks to our clients, Architectural Builders Supply is building an additional facility, and what follows is not only a look at the acreage that we're building the facility on, but also first the architectural renderings as they exist, or at least the architectural plans as they exist at this time. Thank you very much. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at the architecturals as they exist at this moment, or at least it wouldn't be proper to call these architecturals, but it would be proper to call them renderings in the sense of they're conceptual drawings, they're not renderings. So the entire space is going to look like this in terms of a site rendering. This will be a 22,000 square foot building, of which we'll have specific purpose areas. There'll be a workshop down here. This is a few thousand square feet that will be likely woodworking, metalworking, CNC, things of that nature. This will be an office area here, a private office area. This will be Architectural Builders Supply expanded storage area where we will be able to do fulfillment. The entire space in the center is going to be all of the volume, as I call it. Large components will be able to be stored in stock there. Machinery that's too large to fit otherwise may be put out here. Specific facility rooms, and then some recreation over here. Let's take a look at that drone footage, and thank you very much for taking a look.